Many of you probably have heard about Greenwood and the massacre that happened there in 1921, so I certainly don't want to tarry on that. But what I do want you all to understand is that in 1925, just 4 short years after that, Greenwood was rebuilt. It was massacred. It was massacred because of hate, but it was rebuilt once again. So the Black community showed so much resilience and power that we have. You may have asked yourself, why am I saying Greenwood, Black Wall Street? Well, it's because Greenwood was the township that existed in the community. 40 city blocks where Black Wall Street was, and the main street was Black Wall Street, and that term was coined by Booker T. Washington when he came to Greenwood. The dollar turned over more than 15 times in Greenwood, and while they did help build an economy within an economy, it was the land ownership that made Greenwood possible. And that's what we want to recreate, and we want other communities throughout this country to understand that we have to have our land if we are to build and be successful. Now, what you may not know is that Oklahoma was almost a Black state. That was its intent for Black people and for Native Americans. Black folks in existence in Oklahoma has been documented as early as 1832. Black people came to Oklahoma, then known as the Indian Territory, as slaves in the 5 civilized tribes. The Choctaw, Cherokee, Seminole, Chickasaw, and Creeks, those were the 5 civilized tribes. And in 1866, most of these tribes emancipated their slaves and made them citizens of those tribes and called them freedmen. A few years later, they were given land allotments. The Creek Nation gave their freedmen 160 acres of land per family member. Each member of the family got 160 acres. Over 1 million acres of land was allotted to freedmen. The only people who could own land in Indian Territory were Black people and natives. And by 1921, Oklahoma had over 50 Black townships, just in the state of Oklahoma. See, you can't talk about Black history without talking about Oklahoma history. And you can't talk about Greenwood and Black Wall Street without talking about Oklahoma Black history. Our ancestors of Greenwood left a blueprint of how an economy